Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I am Jessica. So as many of you know, we are a military family and I do get asked a lot of what can I do for you? How can I help you? I get told thank you for your service a lot, which I truly appreciate, and I want to tell you guys, if you don't know this already, it is so nice and well received from a military spouse when you tell them thank you for their service, because although we are not the service member ourselves, we definitely play a huge role in this whole thing because we're the ones back here taking care of everything, and it's really hard. So definitely thanking us is such a nice gesture that you can make. So I just want to say thank you to all of you that do that for me. I really do appreciate it. So I get asked a lot, what can I do to help? Is there anything that I can do for your husband? Is there anything I could do for you? So I sat down and made a list of things that I feel like people could do to help out military families. And then I also asked a lot of you ladies on Instagram for ideas as well. And I will tell you that I got an overwhelming response, and 99% of y'all's answers was the same thing. And that's going to be the first one on my list. It was the first one on my list anyways, and then I read y'all's comments, and of course y'all had different versions of what that meant to you. So the number one thing you can do to help a military family is to check in on them. Stay in touch. This can mean so many things. If you're far away, it's totally understandable that you can't come over and just hang out with us. You can't help us in any physical sort of way, but just calling us, texting us, sending us a message, seeing how we are, sending us a funny meme, sending us a funny video, asking if there's anything you can do, asking how we are, being someone just to talk to, like, hey, would you like to schedule a time this week? I'd love to call you and see what you've been up to. We get very, very lonely, and I know personally I get very lonely, and I know now that all of you do as well. That was the number one thing. Almost 100% of you said this, even if you said something else. Stay in touch. We get lonely. So the number one thing you can do for a military spouse, if you know one, if you have one in your family, maybe your neighbor, something like that, is to keep them company in one way or another, but just let them know that you're there for them and you're thinking about them. You can invite them over for dinner, invite them out for dinner, which is even better, invite them to do something with your family, make plans to do an activity. Again, if you are not there where you can physically do something for them, sending them regular messages, just checking in on them, sending them a funny snap on Snapchat or Instagram or whatever. It doesn't always have to be, how are you, or just checking in. I know that can be redundant and you probably feel like you're not doing much, but you're doing a lot, because you don't know that you could be the only person who has reached out to us in a week or more. And that's honestly the sad truth, but that's just how it is. So definitely consistently keep in touch with us. So number two is we get overwhelmed. Most of us are really, really good at hiding that. You would never know. I get told all the time, you are so strong. I could never do it. But what you don't know is what goes on behind the scenes. How many tears are shed on this side of things that you don't know about. It is so hard. And while I might put on a good front, I am overwhelmed. It is really hard doing it all by yourself while you're worried sick about your spouse and all that goes into that. So ask how you can help. If you are far away, can I send you a meal? Or better yet, don't ask, just send a meal. Send a gift card to get pizza or Subway or anything. You could get a gift card for everything nowadays. Send a gift card to get coffee. If you are in the location of the person, you can drop dinner by. Again, just say, hey, can I make dinner for you guys tonight? Offer to babysit the kids. Better yet, don't offer to babysit the kids. Tell them you are babysitting the kids. Say, hey, Saturday night, I'm watching the kids. You know, make plans, but this is what you're doing. Or just, can I come over and help you with anything? Do you need help with the yard work? Do you need anything like around the house done that a man could do, like changing a light bulb that's really high or anything outdoors? I can have my husband come over and do that for you, and I'll sit and visit with you. Anything like that. But we do get overwhelmed, so don't assume we don't just because it may not seem like it, but offer to help in any way that you can. Number three, this was one that was suggested by a few ladies when I asked, and I do agree with it, and that is, please don't ask us if we've heard from them And don't ask us when they're coming home. Don't ask us if we've watched the news. That is a big one. Instantly, that will strike fear in our heart if you've asked us, have you heard from him? Have you watched the news? I've had this happen to me. It was horrible. I know people don't do it with bad intentions. They're just not thinking. But if you put yourself into our shoes, you could probably almost immediately understand why that's not a good thing to say. But don't ever ask a military spouse if she's heard from her husband, if she's seen the news, and don't ask when he's coming home, because one, we most likely can't tell you when he's coming home anyways. Two, we probably don't know when he's coming home. And three, it just kind of reminds us of, like, especially if we have a significant amount of time until they do come home, it reminds us of that. So those are a few things that some of the ladies suggested that I mentioned in this video, and I do agree with them, so I went ahead and put them in here. Okay, so another one that was submitted by some of the ladies over on Instagram was to send gift baskets, send gift cards, encouragement, send encouraging things. And that's not like we're asking for your money or your charity, but it would be so nice to receive in the mail just a surprise, just because I'm thinking of you, I care about you, I'm here for you, whether it be like bath and body stuff to pamper ourselves or gift card to go eat or whatever it may be, but just letting us know that you care by sending little gifts or things like that in the mail, even if it's just a handwritten letter. Just the simplest things could really brighten up our whole week. Another thing is if you are local, coming over and watching a movie with that person. Definitely if your spouse is home or you have someone that can watch your kids, and they can do that, and then you can come over to our house, for example my house, and my kids are in bed, and we could have some adult time, which is much needed when you're in this situation, because you're around your kids 24/7 with no break and no adult interaction. So coming over in the evening after bedtime and watching a movie, maybe having some wine, something like that, even if it's just girl talk, that could go a long way. Okay, another one is something not to do, and this was again submitted by the ladies over on Instagram, and that is, do not ever tell us that we signed up for this. Please don't ever say that. I don't understand how anybody could say that with good intent, because it just sounds ugly coming out of my mouth. We definitely did not sign up for this. That is for sure. We loved, whatever our situation may be, whether we came into it knowing they were in the military or whether they got in the military after we were married, we definitely did not sign up to live our lives alone. I don't think anyone does that. I don't think anyone signs a paper and says, okay, here we go, I'm going to be alone all the time and raising my kids by myself all the time and doing everything alone all the time. That's just not how it is. So that's just not a really nice thing to say. So please don't ever say that. And also don't ask us if they will have to go over again. Are they home for good? Will they have to go over again? Because it's the military. That's their job. They're most likely going to deploy again somewhere. It's not a one-shot deal. They don't just go one time and that's it. They will continue to go for as long as they are in the military in most cases. So that's, I mean, I don't think people ask that in a like bad way at all. I think they're just genuinely curious, but it does bother us because from our point of view, it's like, again, like our heart sings like, yes, they are gonna have to go in, and it's like we're reminded of it. So it's just polite, I guess, not to ask that. So yeah, this is pretty short, basic, to the point, but those are some things that you can do to help out a military family. And this goes for my girls out there that's husbands aren't in the military, but they are away for their jobs. They are alone all week or maybe for months on end. It gets really lonely and really hard to be locked in a house with your kids all day long. Let me tell you, it's like, it will drive a person mad for real. So definitely check up on those friends. If you know anyone, even if they're not necessarily a close friend, maybe you know them from church, or you know them, maybe they're like a second cousin and you follow them on Facebook or something. Check in on them, because you never know what they're going through and how far just a simple "how are you" can take them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and make sure that you have it set to notify you every time I upload. I think by default it only does occasionally, so we want to make sure that you have it set for all uploads. If you aren't subscribed already, I would love to have you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
I wanna get to your clothes, gotta get it right now. I wanna push all the limits with you right now. So watch your feelings, the city's screaming, we're not coming home tonight.